forget where you're coming from. King Shango set the trend. Yo, I want them. Mama.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, datmisehtv. It's your girl Deezer. So guys, today I wanted to talk to you about one of the companies that I work for, and I wanted to give you some more information about how you can apply to work for this company and how to go about doing the interview and the mock demo lesson. Okay, I've had so many questions, guys, so many comments, so many DMs from people wanting information on the interview, the mock lesson, the companies you can work for, and a lot of questions. So what I'm going to do, I think this is going to be done in parts, but today I'm just going to focus on one company. The company is called Itutorgroup. Okay, I'm going to put the name up. Itutorgroup. This is one of the companies that I work for. Okay. The reason why I am going to focus on Itutorgroup today is because I think this will give people most benefit. So most people will be able to benefit from the information on Itutorgroup. The great thing with Itutorgroup is that they employ people from all over the world. So they employ both native English speakers and non-native English speakers, okay? And I'm aware that I've got viewers from, of course, UK and USA who, to be fair, may stand more of a chance of getting employed with the majority of companies just because of where they're from. But I'm also aware that I have some viewers from other countries, including Jamaica, who may not be in the running to get positions with some of these other companies. But Itutorgroup, whether you're a native English speaker or a non-native English speaker, of course, as long as you have good standard English, they will hire you. It doesn't matter what country you are from. So this is for everybody, okay? This is for everybody. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to walk you through the application process, okay? It's fairly simple, fairly easy, but on the screen now, I'm going to show you how to complete the application process, what it looks like, okay? So the first thing you need to do, of course, is to go onto Itutorgroup website and click apply, okay? This is what the website looks like. So let's just have a quick look. So So when you go onto the website, it will list what the teaching requirements are, okay? So we can see them here. You need to be an English speaker at an idiomatic level. You need to have a bachelor's degree or above. So guys, for this company, you do need a degree. Don't worry if you do not have a degree. I will be doing another video explaining some companies that you can work for that do not require a degree, okay? I've worked for some of those companies myself, but that video will come later. So this is for if you have a degree. So you do need a degree. You do need a TESOL or a TEFL certificate, okay? Or a CELTA certificate. This certificate, guys, is a certificate that certifies you to teach English as a second language. So remember, you wanted to become an online teacher, you want to teach English to other people, you first have to be certified to teach English as a second language, okay? Now, the TESOL certificate or the TEFL certificate, I did say in my comments, for some people asking, I got my TESOL certificate, I believe it was about a year ago. I only paid about £12. I mean, I paid silly money for my TESOL certificate. And at the time when I did my training online, there were a lot of companies offering the TESOL and the TESOL and TEFL certificate for very cheap, okay? Someone did bring to my attention that the prices are now a lot more. I have had a look for myself online, and guys, yes, they are a lot more. I've had a look for you guys. I've tried to find a cheap company that is doing the TESOL or TEFL certificate. The cheapest I could find was 119 euros. And that's with a company called International Open Academy. Now, that's the company that I did my TEFL with. That's a company that I did my training with. Guys, the certificate doesn't take a long time. You can do it in a day or two. Once you've done it, you will be emailed your certificate, okay, in a PDF, as a PDF, okay? So it doesn't take a long time, but at this point, the prices do seem to be a lot higher than they were when I did mine. This might come down, so guys, just keep an eye out. But you will need a TESOL or a TEFL certificate for 90% of the teaching companies. You will need a TESOL certificate. So guys, do look into this, okay? Okay, other requirements. Recognized teaching experience, online preferred. Now, yes, of course, most companies are going to want people who may have some teaching experience. However, don't let this put you off. Many companies are happy to employ you with no teaching experience at all. Guys, what I will say, when you do go through your interview, when you do your interview and they ask you, what about your experience? Do you have any experience of teaching? Think back, because for most of us, we probably do have some experience of teaching and we don't even realize it, okay? Maybe we did some, I don't know, I'm just going to say some random things. Maybe we did some volunteer work. Maybe we did something at college. Maybe we were a prefect at school and we had to, help out. We had to assist. If you've assisted anybody, even you're in children now, I don't expect you to go to the interview and say, oh, well, I help my children with their homework. But you can say, I have assisted children with maybe extracurricular duties, such as helping them with projects or helping them with homework, things like this. So it's all in the way you word it, okay? So, you don't have to say, well, yes, when my little brother came from school, I used to sit down and make him do his homework and, check it was right. Yes, you may have done that, but think of a way in which you can word it to sell yourself, okay? So just think about that. But I think we've all, in some way, assisted or taught in some capacity, okay? So don't get too hung up on recognized teaching experience. Just think about something that you've done and how you can word it to sell yourself, okay? Okay, so you need a commitment of 6 peak hours per week. So you need to be available 6 hours a week. Peak hours really means when most of the students are available. Now, in my previous video on how I earn income in Jamaica, I would have said to you that the peak hours in the morning in Jamaica time is from about between 5 in the morning to 8 in the morning. Okay, those are the peak hours. You do on the weekends and evenings have peak hours that start from about 7:30 p.m. onwards, okay? But real core peak hours are those early morning hours between 5 and 8 in the morning, okay? So you have to be able to commit to working 6 hours a week, which is really nothing, okay? 6 hours a week. Okay, and the last requirement for Itutorgroup is, of course, a computer. And it states a computer with Windows or Mac OS, desktop and laptops are acceptable. So desktop and laptops are acceptable, guys. You cannot use a tablet. So if you have a tablet, I'm afraid you can't use those. And of course, you cannot use your phone. There are some companies that do allow you to use your phone. Actually, there are some online companies that only want you to use your phone to teach. We will talk about those in another video. So guys, we are concentrating on Itutorgroup today, okay? So this is what you're going to see, okay? So you're going to click apply now, and I'm going to show you what the next screen looks like. Okay, guys, so once you've clicked the apply now button, this is the screen that you are going to see. So you're going to sign up. You can sign up with a Facebook account, with your Google account, or you can sign in with an email. So guys, I did this just before shooting this video. Yes, I work for Itutorgroup, but I just wanted to show you exactly what it looked like. So I signed up with a separate email, with a different email than the one I use to work with, okay? So you're going to put your email address in. You're going to, of course, set a password. If you have a referral code, put that in. I don't have a referral code to offer you guys. I'm sorry. But very simple stuff, very basic stuff, okay? And of course, you click the sign up. Once you've filled in your sign up information, it's going to take you to this screen, okay? So create your profile, okay? Again, it's going to ask you some basic questions about yourself. So you've got your name, your gender, your date of birth, and your nationality, okay? Every nationality will be in a drop box, so you just click and choose what nationality you are, okay? Okay, after that, you've got your highest level of education. Now remember, you do need at least a bachelor's degree or a degree. But if you have a higher level of education, a master's, a doctorate, of course, you can put that in there in the Dropbox. So it's going to say, how much teaching experience do you have? Okay, again, this is a Dropbox. You select the option. So it may be that you have no experience. It may be that you only have a few months experience, 1 year's experience, and so on. So you click what applies to you, okay? The next question says, aside from ESL teaching, which is English as a second language teaching, I have expertise in the field of. So this is where you're going to click where you have experience. So is it accounting? Maybe it's in education, maybe it's in marketing, maybe it's in, I don't know, design. So there is a Dropbox with different options. Click on there what your field of expertise is, okay? So quite straightforward. So the next bit says, we offer some low-level clients bilingual courseware to start. For our records, could you please indicate if you speak Chinese? You don't need to speak Chinese. This is just, of course, like it says, some of the courseware that they offer to bilingual. I don't speak any Chinese. I don't speak any Chinese. So in the Dropbox, you just say, no, you don't have any Chinese. The next question is, do you have any teaching certificates, okay? Now, you are going to have to put yes for this, okay? If you don't have teaching certificates, I'm not sure that you'll be able to get to the next stage of or even get invited for an interview. But once you click yes, it's then going to give you an option to choose what type of teaching certificate you have. So here is where you're going to be able to say, I have a TEFL, which is a TEFL, I have a TESOL, I have a CELTA, whatever, English language certificate you have, okay? Guys, so this is what happened when I put all that information. Remember, guys, I just did this just before I started videoing this. I already work for Itutorgroup, so I signed up as a different person, okay? So they don't know it's me. But I wanted to show you what it looks like, how easy it is, how quick it is. So this is what I got. Congratulations, you've passed our initial application screening. Now you're one step closer to become an online English tutor at Itutorgroup. So guys, I was offered an interview, okay? So you've got how much can I earn? It's got up to 17.2 US dollars per hour. And then it's got how many hours do I need to work? A minimum of 6. And we spoke about that a little bit earlier. You need to be able to give at least 6 hours per week, okay? So you can give 1 hour a day if you want to. It's up to you. Of course, you can give more. The great thing with Itutorgroup that I want to quickly talk about, as opposed to some of the other companies, is that Itutorgroup works with not only children, but adults too. So you have a choice. If you just want to work with children, fine. If you just want to work with adults, fine. If you want to work with both, you have that option also. And because Itutorgroup also works with adult students, it means that Itutorgroup is available online 24 hours a day, okay? So you can be teaching throughout the day too. I'll be totally honest, guys. I don't really get many lessons throughout the day, but you do get plenty of lessons, especially in the evenings, okay? There's lots of work in the evenings, lots of work on the weekends, okay? And of course, in the mornings as well. So if you're thinking about being a little bit more flexible, maybe you can't commit to the mornings, but you can commit to the evenings. Maybe if you've got a job already, you want just a few hours extra in the evening, this is great for you, okay? You can teach both adults and children. So once you get to this screen, you will see it says, attend automated interview now or schedule a one-on-one interview. Itutorgroup gives you the option to be interviewed in 2 different ways. So the first way is an automated interview, okay? It's computer generated, and you will have to answer some questions, and then you have to take a proficiency test, okay? So it's going to test your standard English, okay? So that's one of the ways that you can do the interview. If you don't want to speak to somebody face-to-face, you can do a computer-generated interview. Once you press that button, the interview starts straight away, okay? So guys, be prepared. If you want to do automated interview, do your research first. Prepare yourself, practice before you click that button because it records you straight away. I don't usually do the automated interview. I like to do a one-on-one interview because I like to see who I'm talking to. I like the person to see me, to see my expression, and we can kind of engage in conversation. Of course, the choice is up to you. So the second choice is to schedule a one-on-one interview where somebody will interview you and do your mock lesson at the same time with you, okay? So if you select the schedule a one-on-one interview, this is the screen that you will see next. Okay guys, my apologies. The screen I'm showing you now is the peak hours, okay? So remember, it says you have to be able to commit to a minimum of 6 peak hours a week. This is what the peak hours are and what they look like. So you can see Monday through to Sunday, 6:30 to 7:30 are peak hours, okay? Finishing at 8. And that's in the morning. This is US time, okay? Which kind of falls in line with Jamaican time as well. You will see that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the peak hours increases. Now, it doesn't just mean you can only work in these peak hours where you see the red. It means you can work other times as well. But it just means this is when there is more of a demand for teachers, okay? So you can see Friday from Saturday all the way through to 9:30. Saturday, you've got lots of hours available on Saturday and Sunday too, okay? Like, again, guys, I'll say again, you don't only have to work in the peak hours, you have to be available to work in the peak hours, but you can work outside the peak hours, okay? If there's a demand for it also, yeah. Okay, pay. Now, at the beginning, you would have seen where it says you can earn up to $17.2 per hour. Now, with Itutorgroup, they do not have any classes that last an hour. Classes range from 25-minute sessions to 40 and 45-minute sessions, okay? So let's have a look at how they break it down. Before I do that, let me just say, for those people who are working and you are from the UK, USA, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, your fixed rate of pay will be slightly different to people from other countries, okay? People from those countries that I've just mentioned, those 5 top countries, tend to get a higher base rate. They tend to get a higher fixed pay rate, okay, than people from other countries. So just bear that in mind, okay? But this is how they break it down. So for a 25-minute session, you'll be paid between $7.3 and $8.6. So this is for a 25-minute session, not the hour. So it's up to 17.2 USD dollars per hour, okay? For a 45-minute session, of course, it's more. So for 45 minutes of teaching, you will get between $10.2 and $12.8. And guys, you can work at that. You can work that out, how that works out for an hour, okay? Okay, once you click schedule one-on-one interview, this is the screen that you are going to see. So this is your appointment screen. So like I said, I did this today. Today is Tuesday the 23rd. You may not be watching this video on Tuesday the 23rd, but as you can see, I did this today, Tuesday the 23rd, and I can be interviewed today. So you can see on here, there is a lesson for, an interview available for 11:30 this morning. There is one available for 11:45. There's afternoon sessions, okay? So if you are willing to book your interview on the day that you make your application, go ahead, no problem. Just be prepared. Of course, be prepared with your interview, your question, your answers, and your mock lesson, okay? If you're prepared and you feel ready to just book your interview on the same day, go ahead and do it. If you are not quite ready to do your interview on the day, of course, they give you options. As you can see at the top, you can choose a day: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and so on. If you book your interview and when the day comes, you are unable to attend, the great thing with Itutorgroup is they give you, I think, 2 chances to reschedule your interview, okay? So you get up to 2 chances to reschedule, okay? Okay, guys, I know that was a lot of information. So the next part of this video is going to be about your interview and your mock demo lesson. Now, Itutorgroup differs greatly from, I would say, 90% of the other online companies when it comes to the interview process, okay? The whole interview process is no longer than 15 minutes. No longer than 15 minutes, which includes the verbal interview and your mock lesson or your mock demo lesson. 3 slides. So they give you 3 slides, 3 separate lessons, okay? During your interview, you will be asked to teach one of these slides. You don't know which one. You have to be prepared to teach all 3. In your interview, the interviewer will say to you, do you prefer to teach children or adults? If you say, oh, I just prefer to teach children, then you will only be required to teach 1 or 2 of the slides. 2 of the slides are child-related, one of the slides is an adult lesson, okay? So adult related. If you say you just want to teach children, then they may just get you to teach one or two of the slides. If you say I want to teach both adults and children, they may get you to teach one child slide and one adult slide. It just depends, okay? Every interviewer is different. So I'm going to show you the 3 slides and we're going to go through them in detail. I'm going to show you how I would teach this slide, okay? Okay, before we move on to the mock lessons, I just want to show you some of the equipment that you will need for your interview, okay? You'll need this for your interview. If you get the job, you'll also need this as part of your work, okay? But I would say, even before the interview, have this equipment so that you show the prospective employer that you are ready, okay? So, headphones, very important. Very important piece of equipment when you're doing online teaching. Please excuse my headphones, my sponge bits have come off. But you need a headphone with a microphone, okay? You can get some of the headphones that have the microphone just hanging off on the end. Most companies prefer you to have one of these ones, okay? The one that curves round to your mouth that you can actually see, okay? I'm going to show you the end of mine. My one is one of these. I don't know, I'm not very technological, so you know this, okay? Which I can just put into my USB port on my computer. Some of them have the jack, the round ones. Either one is fine, okay? So you will need one of these and you'll be using this in your interview. And of course, if you begin teaching, you'll be using these in all of your lessons, okay? So very important. Okay, let's get into the interview. So the interview is a basic interview like most other interviews, okay? You know, they ask the standard questions. They're going to ask you your name. They're going to ask you kind of where you're from. They're going to just want to confirm some of the information that you put on your application form. So what's your nationality? What country are you living at the moment? You know, what are you doing? Have you done any teaching? Do you have experience of teaching? Do you have experience of teaching online? What age group would you prefer to teach? Would you prefer to teach adults? Would you prefer to teach children? Very basic, straightforward stuff, okay? Now, be aware, some interviewers, not all, some interviewers may throw a question in there that I want you to be prepared for. And the question is, what would you do in a situation where one of your students is not paying attention to what you're saying? How would you gain their attention, okay? Like I said, not everybody's going to ask you this, but some will. So just be prepared for that question, okay? So the question is, what would you do in a situation where one of your students was not paying attention to the lesson, maybe not listening, was maybe distracted, okay? So of course, there are a number of things that you can do. There are a number of ways in which you can answer this question, okay? So some of the possible answers that you may want to think about are things like maybe using a prop to regain their attention, okay? So many online companies will say props are very important, okay? Maybe puppets, teddies, stars, things like that, okay? So one way to answer is that, if I saw a child who was maybe distracted, losing focus, maybe I could use a prop to get his attention, get him involved, speaking to the prop, okay? Or another way to answer the questions, well, if I know that the student is interested in something in particular, maybe they're interested, I don't know, maybe in dinosaurs or in trains, and you would have found this out at the beginning. When you have a conversation with that child, you would have got to know about that child. Maybe on the profile it says what the child likes. So you can answer by saying, well, actually, if I knew the child was interested in something like dinosaurs or trains, then maybe I would incorporate that into my lesson to grab their attention. Sometimes you can say, by making a loud noise or by saying something funny to just re-engage them and get them refocused. So there are a number of ways in which you can answer the question, but just be prepared for it because some interviewers do ask it, some do not. Right, so one thing that I want to quickly go through with you before we go through the mock lesson is props. So with all companies actually, Itutorgroup included, they are looking for use of props. So it's always important that you bring props with you or use props as part of your demo lesson interview, okay? So it can be really simple prop, guys. Sometimes I go to the pound shop, you can go to the dollar store, you can make some props, okay? So some of the props that I have is, I'm going to show you. this is just a hand puppet, okay? So let me put my hands in it, just a minute. So just a little hand puppet, you know, can talk to you, can talk back, just something to engage, especially your younger learners with, okay? So a hand puppet. I've got some little like soft toys here. I've got one here as well, okay? And something else that you will need is a reward system, okay? Many of the online companies have their own reward systems, but they always like to see, especially in interview, you taking that extra initiative of providing your own reward system. So you can just have some stars, okay, some colored stars. You can have some smiley faces, okay, smiley faces here. And another good thing to always have is a whiteboard. Mine is a red board, but I have a whiteboard and I use a marker and I can write things down and draw things just to, you know, emphasize certain words or pictures to the students, okay? So those are just some of the props that I use.